Hey guys, what's up? It's Sean, Autotopia LA. We're back up at my pal Dave's house. You gotta know Dave with that wonderful GT350. Dave's not here, but he's loaned us his house for the day. We're with my friend Sean. Sean's made his way down. He's part of that whole NorCal crew that we've shot with a handful of times. So let's get into it. It's a
65 Chevelle Malibu SS. It's gone through like 2.5, 3 different transformations. COVID hit and I'm like, you know what, let's do a chassis. Get a hold of the Roadster Shop guys after talking to Jeremy a couple years before that. Pull the body off, get the old one out, get the Roadster Shop chassis under there. Called up Don Hardy in Texas to do me a 440 LSX motor. Naturally aspirated. Then
oh, love it.
We got the supercharger on there now. So.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Was it a clean car to start with? Or?
Yeah, it was clean. I can tell you the story basically. So had a few cars. I mean, I got into cars when I was 12. My dad bought me a 67 Camaro when I was 12 years old. And then I've had a Lincoln, 65 Lincoln with the suicide doors.
Okay.
Really wanted a shoebox Chevelle. And I was like, really wanted the light blue, 4-speed car, air conditioning. I'm with GMC now, but I was with Chevrolet at the time, been doing it 25 years. One of my customers, he was in there getting oil change and he's looking at a used GTO we had. We had an 06 GTO. He's looking at it going, hey, do you think the owner will trade me for my Chevelle? And I'm like, Chevelle? I didn't know he even had a Chevelle. And he's like, yeah, I got a 65. I go, you gotta be shitting, right? He brings it back and I'm just like drooling. That's what I've been looking for. Yeah. And the owner comes out, he collects cars, but he likes the Tri-5 Chevys. He likes the, earlier Vets. So he looks at it and he's just like, nah. And he was priced a little higher than what I had kind of saved up for the car. Did some stuff, get some money together. I call him up. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep the car. I decided. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. A couple weeks go by. He calls me back. He goes, man, I got some health issues. I'm moving out of California. I'm going to Montana. I go, okay. Me and the wife go by, we check the car out, we drive it. Long story short, we were about $500 apart. And I knew I was gonna buy the car, but I was just still holding my ground and he's holding his. And I go, I'll think about it.
Isn't that funny, over 500
500 bucks, exactly. And I'm like, telling my wife, all right, I'm gonna give him a couple days and I'll call him, right? She's behind the scenes, she grabbed my phone one night, gets the guy's number and says, I'm gonna pay the 500 bucks. Don't tell my husband, I'm gonna surprise him with the car.
Oh, that's so cool.
So he's out of state, she's got this cash and she's like, calls him and he says, go deposit the cash into the bank. He says, as soon as the money's deposited, you can go to the house and my neighbor will let you in, you get the car. She goes, and backs it out, 4-speed car, she's trying to mess with it. It's out of gas, starts raining, the wipers are doing weird stuff, old car. So anyway, I'm at work and all of a sudden I see the car come rolling in to the dealership and I'm like, he sold it to somebody else because I knew he was out of state.
Yeah.
She gets out the car, throws me the keys and says, happy birthday. I'm never driving the car again. I go, oh my God, yeah.
That's a good one, man. Yeah, that's a really good one. Let's pop the hood. I want to see. And by the way, I know we were talking about it before the camera starts rolling. I mean, I love that you're wearing their shirt and their hat. I'm a huge fan of these guys. I mean, the Roadster Shop guys are quality people, quality products, man.
Great guys, good to work with.
Wow, so you did keep it very...
Kind of, try to keep it old school. Yeah, exactly. Factory air car. I left the box in there, but it's all vintage air. That's just kind of for looks. Cool. Got the old school windshield wiper, fill bottle, Chevy valve covers, which, all the coil packs are hidden underneath.
Sure, yeah. Sure.
I called around because I'm like, everybody's like, you need to do an LS. You need to do, I don't want all the plastic crap.
Yeah, totally.
So a guy up in the Bay Area, East Bay Muscle Cars, I don't know if you've ever seen their stuff.
Dude.
So he was building a 65 Buick Riviera with the nail head motor. And I said, that's what I want to do with the small block, look like a Chevy. But this one with the supercharger, I kept the valve covers and the orange and just trying to keep it look more retro.
So it's a 440, but then...
This is a 416. So the 440 was a naturally aspirated one.
Got it, and then you changed the motor again.
I sold it back to Don. Don built me this. It's the 416. It had a 1900, the LSA, the standard LSA blower, which is a 1900. And then Colin came out with this as a 2650. It pushes like 40% more air. Jeez, looks the same though. It fits, the hat fits, the rails, everything fit on there. So this one, we just dynoed this on the 85, just under 900 to the tire.
Oh, jeez, dude. Did you do the work yourself on this?
So engine-wise, obviously Don built it out of Texas, but doing all the work as far as like the chassis, a good friend of mine, Derek, up at the Hot Rod Shop in Sacramento.
Okay.
He's got a shop, so he really helped out with the chassis. We used his lift. Because I had air ride before, I really like the stuff low. I wanted to see, it's got to have the stance.
Yeah.
This is the spec chassis. They're kind of their, cheaper version of their chassis, but they didn't offer air, so I went to coilovers, you know, static. He goes, yeah, you can get them low, but you're gonna have to do some tunnel work. So he had to redo the tunnel. We raised it up 3.5 inches for the drive line just to get the car to sit.
So this stance is static, huh?
Yeah.
That, I thought for sure this car had to be on air because it sits, damn, it sits perfect.
Yeah, it's it. To me, wheels and stance are
killed it.
So yeah.
Back over here to mechanical, then what are you made up to transmission-wise here?
So it's a Tremec 6-speed, Magnum, RTX McLeod twin disc clutches. Then it's obviously all the way back. It's the Roadster Shop 9-inch with a True Track 410.
With their roller, so I'm assuming you got bare brakes under here?
So I went Willwood. So they're the 14-inch Willwoods in the front, 13 in the back. Yeah. Ultimate headers, 1 7/8 down to 3-inch full exhaust with the X-Pipe and the Borla Pro XS mufflers all the way back.
And then obviously your boosted brake, yeah?
Yeah, Willwood.
It just looks so old school. Like
and like DeWitt's, they make the radiator. The radiator still looks like a radiator from '65, but they make it for an LS with the twin fans and everything.
Badass, dude.
Headlights, they got the Dapper headlights, kind of, these are the 5 3/4, but it has that glass, you know, the original style. It's like, that's what I waited and waited because that's what I want. I wanted a specific headlight, you know? It's like,
I love your style choices, bro. I really do. I love it's not screaming resto mod, even though it's obviously total resto. What are the wheels?
So those are Forge Line, 3-piece, the OE ones. Yeah, you can see right through that little slot though, you can see that the Willwood brake, the caliper for a second. So this is a 19 8.5, and then the rear is a 1911 with a 305/30 in the rear and a 245/35 in the front.
The red line looks bitchin' on there
too. Those are Diamondback classics. Yeah, that was the vision from day one, so.
And you know, oftentimes I'll forget to ask the question, and so many people always want to know, what is the color on this?
So originally it's called Glacier Gray. When I had them do it, I had a PVG, a friend of mine painted it, and they put a little blue metallic in there just to kind of give it just a little more blue.
Wow, it's so pretty. And then does your exhaust come out the back?
Yeah, it's kind of tucked up. You have to get on there, but I had it kind of
tucked. Oh yeah, sure.
The whole rear is Cerakoted black just to kind of make it go away and you don't really notice it.
I just like how old school all your choices are, even seeing the fuel
you see the
tank
April,
there.
I got the April and the 1965 tag on there still.
Yeah.
And then you know, trunk wise, I know you always look at the trunk.
But
there's not, I mean, they're not really to see, but the cool thing is you can see the craftsmanship on the mini tubs. You know, my buddy did a nice job. Those are ABC mini tubs. It doesn't even look like you did any work back here, but you had to put a 2-inch mini tub. With the factory tub, you're gonna fit a 255. Some get 275 depending on what offset they get, but this is a 305. You can get up to a 325, they're saying.
And I mean, even with the 305, you're blowing tires off if you want.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously. When you're building a full custom car, there's so many choices you make along the way. And I think you can get away with, if you make a couple of bad choices, you can get away with it, you know. Make a handful of bad choices, your car looks like a basket case, you know. And this, I like how you've carried your theme throughout this whole car, keeping it very sleeper looking. Even down to things like the hinges, you know, I was noticing on your hood hinges back here, same thing. It's like, it's so easy to go Eddie or Rings or any of the guys that make really bitchin' CNC parts. And I love that stuff. I love all the build stuff. But if you're gonna stay with this theme, you gotta stay with it, dude.
Right.
All right, let's check out this interior.
Yeah, go ahead.
By the way, you gotta already know I'm stoked about lap belts. Thank you for that.
I know.
Actually, I'm gonna mention something about this, you guys, because I legitimately, ever since our crash, right, I get people all the time commenting about, you know, lap belts. Here's the reality, dude. Do I prefer a shoulder or harnesses? Of course I do, man.
Right.
But the reality is, one bad day shouldn't determine the rest of your days, right?
That's true.
You know, and that was one bad day of shooting. And any of you guys want to comment on it, bring it. I always read your comments, but the reality is, where are you going to put it? You're going to have to, your whole interior is going to have
change
to.
a lot. Yeah, you have a big,
You're going to kill your interior. And I like, you know, again, it's choices, man. God, dude, this interior is so bitchin'.
So factory seat, I told him we need to do the factory seat, got rid of all the springs, you know, made all the foam from scratch.
So this is a legit factory seat?
Yeah, this is my old seat, So the other one,
but he gave it more bolster.
Oh yeah, that was the whole thing, because you get, you know, with this power, it was like the other one you're just sliding back and forth, because these were basically flat across. The funny thing is, I was gonna just have the seats done. He did the carpet for me about 3 years ago when I did the chassis. He calls me up and he goes, hey, what do you want to do? I go, just the seats, we'll do the the dash pad and a couple things. So he sends me some color swatches. I got like 3-4 blues going on because of, you know, original back here, somebody did this to that. So anyway, I call him, I go, let's just do it. We did everything. So he made all these out of scratch. You know, he made the board.
Really?
The CNC machine did all the cutout for the foam, and then he sewed it all in.
This is so bitchin' because it still looks, I mean, you know what you're sitting in. Like there's not one thing you've done on this where you've lost what the car was you started with.
Digital Dakota gauges, you know, their RTX gauge, it just, they nailed it with those. I mean,
it fits
those,
it
yeah,
perfectly, man. I mean, even your...
Yeah, I got the old like Muncie style shifter.
Dude, this is
Put
so
the 6-speed
class. Do you still have the Kleenex box, really?
Yeah, yeah. So,
You gotta be kidding
yeah.
me. You ever seen one of those, dude?
Yeah, everybody asks me all the time. They're like, what is that?
So is this Bluetooth, I'm
Yeah,
guessing?
yeah, that's a, what is it, classic car audio.
Yeah. It's funny, even the wheel. See, that's another one, dude.
And that, the only thing, I wish it was cut down a little more. That's a 16.5. I called EVOD and he said he could do one. It's just, it's pretty steep, but he does some beautiful work.
I'm really blown away by this. This is, dude, I'm so stoked we finally got to do this,
right
man.
on, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's go for a drive, boys.
All right.
Right away, I'm telling myself, don't fall in love, don't fall in love, don't fall in love. Car's bitching, dude. When a car's a little bit of a basket case, you can't really pick things apart. It's like, ah, cool car, dude. You know, you got a bunch of work to do, but cool car. When a car's this good, I've got one nitpick thing with your car. I'm having to reach too far for the shifter. That's how good this car is, dude.
I agree. I thought about putting the, you know, another like bend up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And it sounds good. Boy, it's so nice to have not just the 5th, but knowing that you've also got a 6th gear there.
Yeah.
Fuck, this car drives bitchin'. Damn, dude. You're just loving it, aren't you?
Oh, I do. I love driving it.
I mean, you know, we've shot a lot of cars.
Yeah.
This is one of the nicest cars I've ever driven, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm really enjoying driving this car. I just love when it's done right, man. God, I just love when cars are done right. Yep, I had a feeling it was going to do something like that. Woo! Boy, it really does kind of track straight when you get on it. Damn, dude. That's impressive. I gotta tell you, that's impressive. Yep, that's pretty much it. Nice. my opinion, is a perfectly built car. It looks wonderful. The stance is perfect, the wheels are right, the interior, everything about it's right. Then when you drive it like I did, just casually cruising, the car drives wonderfully. And then when Sean jumps in the seat and spinning tires through first, second, third gear, and had he gone into fourth, it would have kept spinning, but the car points dead nuts straight the entire time. That's a testament, in my opinion, to the Roadster Shop Chassis and a very, very, very well-built car. Absolutely knocked out. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, because I gotta tell you, after being sick all week, I just had a blast. I feel great again. So, as always, a big thanks for hanging and watching what we do. I really, really do appreciate you guys watching the channel, and I'll see you in the next episode. All right, man, later.